Hello guys, good morning. Today is June 27th, Monday. Going to be going over to Express Action, and it's going to be a little bit of a short video because it's just trying to point out what I kind of explained last night on the video explaining, well, talking about the resume that I made on previous week with ICT's concepts. And well, today we got a really good session, my opinion, where we had clearly a clear manipulation through, well, the timings between 7 and 8:30, then 8:30 did its manipulation as well, and then, well, from that point and ahead, we had a pretty clear view of how the market could behave through the entire session. So we begin with the entire session, the screenshot. We have London Kill Zone, which went a bit higher than New York Kill Zone, which went first lower, then completely higher. And on the London analysis, we can see how the midnight open happened right after a sell-side liquidity being taken, a run on sell-side liquidity, which aggressively started going higher, which generated fair value gap. The price trades into, creates aggression, another fair value gap, even a market shift in the 5-minute, that is, price trades into that and then continues higher. Target would have been a little bit difficult on this trade specifically, but as I'm not really interested in London, I didn't really give it much thought. So yeah, based on midnight, we could easily expect the bullish day due to the run on sell side liquidity and immediate reaction, which is what we have here, right? And well, what has been shown on this one. Then price continued lower. This is the session screenshot. We can see here from 7 to 8:30, we have the move against the trend plus a run on sell side liquidity, which is this low. And then when we have 8:30, which opens on this candle, trades a bit higher than aggressively lower, generating a tiny bit of a fair value gap. But what happens here to the left? We have a clear run on sell side liquidity, and immediately after it does that, we see price aggressively pushing higher, generating fair value gaps in the 5 and even in the 15-minute, as you'll see later. So we have clear indications to expect a bullish session, even New York open and manipulated lower, right? So phase 1, we have a run against the trend and a run on sell side liquidity, which is this low. Phase 2, aggressive run to sell side liquidity, which was this low back here, which is actually the low, London's low actually. That's interesting. And then the immediate change in the trend generates fair value gaps that are later traded into, which will be this, right? So trade number 1 is run on sell side liquidity, New York manipulation, immediate aggression with fair value gaps, purely based on the 1-minute. This is one of the trades that I took today, right? Price begins, price aggressively starts trading higher. Keep in mind that we had the 5-minute fair value gap in this. I decided to ignore that completely. And price retraced into this fair value gap specifically, took an entry, went higher, and well, that one worked out lovely. Trade number 2 is higher time for fair value gap, run on sell side liquidity, immediate aggression generates fair value gaps, and entry on a 1-minute fair value gap. And here we could have taken, I did take 2 losses, right? This one, we have mitigates the 15 and 5-minute fair value gap. We have a sweep on liquidity, run on sell side liquidity. We see aggression that causes market shifts. Price comes back down, respects the high, well, not the high, sorry, the fair value gap, starts trading higher, fails to break, well, it does break the high, sorry, but it doesn't really go that much further, lower, higher, and then completely fails, right? Take me out for a loss. So I was taken out for a loss here. Price retraced a bit more, aggressively lower, aggressively higher. Another fair value gap is that, well, it's pretty much the same structure, but even with a little bit of a better sweep now. And that failed again. Then we see another push lower, same aggression, fair value gap, entry, and targeting previous week high, which is a little bit of a difficult target, to be fully honest, because we would have not really expected that, or not really. But I did make an analysis last night on what we could expect from the week. But I do have the screenshots. Question is where? During week 5, week 4 forecast. There it is. This is a screenshot that I took last night. Let me open it on a new thing. And that's pretty much it. I was expecting price to go higher, at least above the previous week high, to then go lower, And that's the text. I think I have to zoom in a little bit more for you to see it properly. So this week I'm expecting finally the bearish continuation as shown in the charts. We've mitigated a bearish weekly fair value gap, so I'm expecting the week to be bearish, looking for the pending sell side liquidity down there. First, want to see price trading above previous week high, taking the BSL pending on that, maybe even mitigate the daily fair value gap that we have, well, here specifically. And maybe even mitigate daily fair value gap to later completely turn bearish and look for previous week low or the lowest point of the pending sell side liquidity. Right, so trying to get down here, right, from, well, whatever we can get into, right? This is the previous week high, which is what we basically swept today, right? What we swept today, and where do I have here? What we ended up sweeping today. No, sorry, this is the week forecast. Okay, let's snap the things here. Hold on. Okay. Which is what we swept onto this price action, this previous week high. And so because it was a lovely target, which again could have led to 7.43 on this one or 5R, depending if the stop loss was here, which was a little bit aggressive, but understandably why it would have been there, or down here, right? Either way, lovely session. You can clearly see the concepts or the way that I explained things yesterday, right, on yesterday's video. And it was a lovely price action. Basically everything that I was somewhat expecting from this session worked out, and very happy about that. So that's all that I really wanted to show today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you just took something away from it, and I'll be seeing you on to the next one.